I gotta say that by default, Bill Maher, he's just one of my favorites. You know, when I'm watching YouTube clips, what do I actually watch? A lot of times, Bill Maher. I love watching his show. I love him to hear what he has to say about topics. And here's what I've learned over the years with Bill Maher. He definitely is an atheist. I definitely am not. But I've learned that as long as he's not talking about his atheist views, I agree with him 100%, no matter what he's talking about. He and I share the same political views. We can just as easily make fun of Democrats as we can Republicans because we see the obvious flaws in both of those very polarized systems. He and I politically are on the same page. And just in general, whatever his opinion is, it's like he's reading my mind, as long as he's not talking about his atheist views. So I think that's interesting, and I think that's worth pointing out. I think it's for me to try to explore this concept. In case you're new here, I am a libertarian, and that doesn't necessarily translate into, you know, most atheists are libertarians, because to my understanding they're not. Even though most atheists politically tend to be quite liberal or quite conservative. I mean, we're talking like alt-right conservative or like extreme liberal is typically what I have seen to be the political leanings of atheists. Now, as I'm making these videos, feel free to identify and tell me, are you predictably on one of those, or are there atheists who are libertarian? Because for me, it's always about, well, what do we have in common? Yeah, we don't have the same views. I'm a Christian, you're an atheist. Yeah, I get it. We're not on the same page. We're never going to be. I don't need to be. I don't care about that. I care about what do we agree on. And I just find it fascinating that I agree with pretty much everything Bill Maher has ever said, as long as it wasn't about his atheist views. I think he's so intelligent, and I'm so grateful that he has a voice and a platform that he does, because he's able to bring up a lot of good points and cut through a lot of silliness with a knife and just say, here's the real issue, here's what's really going on. And I think he is able to often say, forget about emotions. What's the actual issue? I have a lot of respect for Bill Maher. But I'm sorting out how this works, that politically, where are atheists falling? Is it true that they're on one extreme, very liberal or very, very conservative? Or are there plenty of atheists who share libertarian views, such as I do? And specifically, if you're not familiar with the term libertarian, my favorite way to explain it is, we recognize that there's some broken systems, some broken thoughts, some broken views on both Republican and Democrat, but they are doing some things right. But ultimately, we're disassociating with the polarization there. And for me specifically, as I identify as a libertarian, it is that I am fiscally conservative, but socially liberal. When it comes to how we're spending money in America, I care about that. That matters very much to me, that we're not wasting millions of dollars, or billions of dollars, 5.7 on a wall. That's not going to actually solve the problem, because the real problem is solving the welfare system, which has created this reason for undocumented Mexican workers across the border, because there's people who were born in America who don't want to work, oh my back, and etc. So for me, that's where I think we need to focus more on how we can save money and benefit our own people and not spend money policing the world. I'm fiscally conservative, but when it comes to liberal views on my social views, my whole thing is, hey, we don't need to make laws that absolutely connect with our religious beliefs. What matters is that our law in our country protects people from hurting each other and taking advantage of each other. That's what I care about. So as long as someone's not doing something that hurts someone else, I can't see why I care. I don't see why I have to agree with someone's lifestyle, and that we have to make laws against someone's lifestyle or decision. Because for almost every human being, there are certain viewpoints of other people that you don't agree with, but we don't have to make a law against it. So when it comes to social views, we don't need to make a law against it. If you're not hurting somebody, I don't care. It doesn't need to be illegal. But when it comes to money, I'm very strict. I'm very, managing money means a whole lot to me, for me and my family. So the same thing with how our government works. I don't want to see money being wasted in policing the world when we've got our own issues here in America. Yes, help other people to some degree in other countries. But when you consider how much time and money and energy we've spent overseas taking care of trying to put out fires and policing the world when we've got our own issues here, all that money. So yeah, that's where I am. And I just wonder if that part resonates with atheists at all. Or are you an extreme liberal or extreme alt-right conservative? I'm just wanting to understand that. But like my opening statement, I agree with pretty much anything I've ever heard Bill Maher say, and he's an atheist. I just don't agree with the things that he said about the atheists. But take out that part, he and I line up very much the same. So tell me more about you, the individual atheist, and your political views, because I want to understand a collection of atheist views, since atheists are not an organized group. Comments right here.